Hey there guys, what's up? It's all about Mike 18 here with another movie review. Guys, yes, I explained this in my review of The Babadook. I'm reviewing I'm reviewing two movies in my car right now. I know I'm outside my house, parked on the street, in my car, when I could be in my room, but I'm doing this in order to save time. Nevertheless, guys, in this video, I am going to be reviewing a film that came out in limited release. I got a chance to watch it online. I've been wanting to watch it. People have been raving about it. So now here I am going to talk about The Guest. So anyway, guys, before I get into my thoughts on The Guest and my thoughts on the film in general, again, just to quickly sum up, I just came back from watching Foxcatcher, and I had my camcorder with me, and instead of running upstairs, I got something to do in like 20 minutes, instead of running upstairs, setting up the camera, not being able to film anything, having to wait till later on, I just wanted to get it done now, shooting this review, and I also just shot my review of The Babadook. I literally just shot it, I just started the camera, and now I'm shooting my review of The Guest. So, again, sorry for the scenery change. I know this isn't really professional of me to just shoot a review in my car, but, I've just been busy, as you guys know, with college and everything, and other things going on in life. I have to just do this just to save time, so I hope you guys understand. Anyway, guys, getting into The Guest. As I said in my review of The Babadook, I'm trying to catch up on a few films that got limited releases this year, and I've been wanting to watch them, but they never came to my theater, but they are available online, which is why I am going to watch them. I'm going to be doing reviews from now until the end of December on these movies including Camp X-Ray starring Kristen Stewart, Frank starring Michael Fassbender, The Life Itself, Roger Ebert documentary, a couple of these movies that I'm trying to catch up on and trying to review for you guys. And the one I'm going to be reviewing now is The Guest. So guys, The Guest is directed by the director of You're Next, and he also directed two segments of those VHS movies. He directed a segment from VHS 1 and then a segment from VHS 2, which I haven't seen. But I have seen You're Next, and a lot of people weren't thrilled with You're Next. It got a lot of critical acclaim, but then it has developed a base of people saying, it's not that great, I don't understand what's so great about it. So Adam Wingard has had an interesting track record. Now he's given us The Guest, starring Dan Stevens. This film was released in 2014. It came out in September. Now I finally have gotten to see it. Now I'm going to sum up the film, give you my thoughts on it. So guys, The Guest is about an ex-soldier who has been discharged from the army. And his character's name is David Collins, and he is played by Dan Stevens. He shows up at the doorstep of the Peterson family, and he claims that he was the best friend of their son, who just recently died. Their son's name was Caleb, and he was also a soldier who was killed in the war. So David Collins shows up at their doorstep and tells them, listen, I was a friend of your son, and I promised him I would come back, meet with you guys, and basically do anything to help you guys out. And that's exactly what he does. So he meets the entire family. The family consists of the husband and wife. They have a daughter, and they have a younger son. And he basically does what he promised Caleb, which was helping out the family, which he does. However, really mysterious, odd things start happening once David arrives at the Peterson household. People start dying, mysterious things start happening, and nobody can help but point fingers at David. And this leads the sister to start taking matters into her own hands. I believe her name is Anna. She starts taking matters into her own hands, wants to investigate this David guy and find out what's really going on. Find out if he's lying or what's really going on with him. And yeah, guys, that's basically the premise for The Guest. And I honestly, guys, when the film first came out, I didn't even know about this movie. Then people started reviewing it, started getting some rave reviews. And I started looking up about it. I watched the trailer for it, and I saw it, and I said, wow, this actually looks like a pretty interesting movie. And it intrigued me, because I said, yeah, I got to see how this movie is going to end. What's really going on here? It looked really, really entertaining. And from the director of You're Next, like I said, a lot of people don't understand why that movie gets love, or why it's so critically acclaimed. You know, some people hailing it, oh, one of the best slasher horror films in recent memory. I personally enjoyed You're Next. I don't think it's like one of the best things ever, but it was decent. The soundtrack was pretty awesome. The leading actress was a badass. But getting to the guest, I think this is definitely a step up for Adam Wingard, because I actually really enjoyed this film. It's not like it's one of my favorite films of the year or anything, but it's definitely a very entertaining, very enticing, very engaging film that does not only work as a thriller, a psychological thriller, but it also works as an action movie, and there's even like a horror element in the movie. It's got all of these different elements into it, and it really worked for me. I really liked that about The Guest. It worked. Now, are there some really ridiculous, just outrageous things that happen in this film? Yes, there's a lot of that happens in this movie. There are some things that are very hard to buy at first, like the fact that this family is just so welcoming to this guy who just shows up at their doorstep claiming he's a friend of their recently deceased son. It's like at first they're wary of him. They're not sure whether or not they should let him in or accept him or let him stay at their house rather. And then in like the next scene, they're okay with it. So like you have some ridiculous odd things that happen like that, but all that gets outweighed by a lot of the fun and engaging scenes that are really in this film. The ending was pretty awesome. All that really works for me. And I thought the film was, again, well directed by Adam Wingard, who did a good job with You're Next, in my opinion. The guy definitely knows how to direct actors, and Dan Stevens was great. The whole supporting cast, in my opinion, was pretty good as well. And the script was pretty good. It was intriguing. And when you finally get that big payoff, which is what we were all waiting for, to learn what was really going on with this guy? What's his secret? Why is the military after him? Is he really who he says he is? Once we finally discover all this, it definitely pays off, and it's definitely pretty exciting and pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, you have scenes filled with violence and gunfights, and all that really gets my blood pumping and really gets me hooked into the film. And that's what really worked for me with The Guest. But like I said, it's not one of the best films of the year or anything. It's just a really fun, entertaining movie filled with a lot of violence, filled with, there's even you get a laugh here or there, not really, but here or there, filled with a very interesting, mysterious plot, and some really good performances, and a really good script that I actually enjoy. So that's what I really loved about The Guest. Now, getting into Dan Stevens' performance, I've never heard of this actor before anywhere, never seen him anywhere, but he sort of pops out of nowhere, and he was really good in this movie, because when he first comes into the film, he's playing this character. He seems very trustworthy, and he seems like a very nice, straightforward guy. He's very attractive. All the girls that are around him are like, oh my God, look at that guy. Look, his blonde hair. Look at those abs. Oh my God, he's so sexy, and he plays that role perfectly. Then, as the film progresses, you get to see more and more of that dark, deep state in his mind. You get to see that there's definitely something going on here, and his role takes a twisted turn in what his character eventually ends up doing, and I think he pulled it off very damn good. Dan Stevens was great. One of the better performances I've seen this year from a male actor, and it's probably going to be very underrated. It's probably going to be overlooked, is what I'm trying to say. But he was good, and the actress who played the daughter in the movie, Anna, I can't remember her name, but she was good in the movie. And who else did I like? I also thought the actor playing the son in the movie, the son who's alive, he's sort of like the outcast at school, gets bullied and whatnot. I thought he was also pretty good in the movie. So with all these good performances, with a film that is definitely well shot, the production design was pretty great. Like not the production design, the set locations, the scenery that they used and the sets that they picked for the film really worked for me. For the majority of the film is shot on a sort of like somewhere out in the country, I think. Like it's set in this house that's pretty much isolated from everywhere else. You don't see any other neighboring houses near, and I liked that. That worked for the movie. And there's a scene in the school. It's set during a Halloween dance, yeah. And that really worked for me in the movie as well. So the scenery, all that really worked. And I gotta say, I overall enjoyed this movie. I do have my share of flaws with it, and I do feel things could have been improved, and I do think it could have been even more engaging than it was. Nevertheless, it's very entertaining. It's very action-packed. The leading performance is awesome from Dan Stevens. The film is well shot. It's well directed. The sets all worked for me. The violence, the gore, all that really worked. There's a lot of badass moments in this movie, you know what I'm talking about. And it's really fueled by a really intriguing, slightly tense story. That's just really fun and entertaining. That's just the word to describe this movie. And that's why I'm going to give The Guest a solid 8.75 out of 10. I had to think for a second there. I'm going to give it an 8.75 out of 10 or a B+. I liked it. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. All that I just mentioned, all those pros really worked with this film, including the score that I haven't talked about yet. One of the best parts about this movie, and this is something that I didn't even pick up on at first. Then I actually went back and was looking at scenes from You're Next and listening to the music. I'm like, holy crap, I just realized this. Director Adam Wingard loves to use 80s soundtracks, 80s songs in his movies. He did the same exact thing in You're Next, and he did it in The Guest. And the soundtrack was awesome. Not only the soundtrack, the 80s soundtrack with the 80s music, you got these really awesome songs playing, just adding to the tension and the mood, especially in the final scene that I really enjoyed. But then the score was pretty good too, and that's what I really liked about The Guest, and that's something that really stood out. It heightens the tension in moments. It even relieves the mood in other moments, and that's why Adam Wingard did a good job with the soundtrack, even though he loves the 80s soundtrack for some reason. It's just a really interesting 80s sort of action thriller film, and that's really what The Guest is. Like I said, the performances were great from Dan Stevens, specifically. The film was well shot and well directed by Adam Wingard. The scenery and the locations worked that they picked for the film. And of course, the soundtrack and the score was also very good. But getting into flaws, the film does have a few flaws here or there. Namely, I felt that, like I said, those ridiculous sort of over-the-top, unbelievable moments sort of happen in the film. Little outrageous moments. Namely, the fact that the family is very acceptive of this guy, and they just sort of let him into their lives, and they let him stay for longer than he says he wants to. And I just found that to be a little coincidental, and just a little not coincidental, a little convenient for the story. So there's moments like that. I also felt, although I loved the settings and the location that I raved about, I felt that they needed to pick, I don't know, somewhere else to set the film. You know, like I felt it was set in this one location for too long, and I felt they needed to, you know, move it somewhere else. That's just a little minor flaw. And I also felt the film was a little short, and I would have actually liked a few more scenes here or there. That actually is a problem that some movies may have. The movie's about 90-something minutes. I felt it could have almost reached about 2 hours, really. But yeah, so apart from the convenient, a little unbelievable, outrageous moments, the film is really enjoyable. I definitely recommend it to you guys. 8.75 out of 10 or B+. It was good. It was a little gritty in moments. It was just all in your face, and really fun and entertaining. And the violence and all those factors really added to my enjoyment of the film. So anyway, guys, that's what I thought of The Guest. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry again that this review was set and shot here, but I had to do what I had to do. Sorry about that. Anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.